A second. And we're live.
Pow, wow,
Oh,
wow.
wow, yo, yippee, yo, yippee, yay.
Lovely Borgers around the world. I hope you guys are great and you're happy despite the fact that it looks like we're getting into an era of COVID and bearish markets. Without further ado, I'll introduce myself. My name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're absolutely over the moon to give you this AMA. And just for a reminder for all of you out there to understand the flow, basically we're cutting the previous AMAs into two sections. So the first section here today is AMA to answer all your questions, make sure everything is 100% transparent. And then we will have a keynote event, which will be aired in February. We might have a live event as well. So the keynote will talk about the roadmap, the CHSB token, and all the developments throughout 2022. So here today, again, we're here to address your questions. We're here to make sure that you know all the information, everyone is up to speed, and that we kick off the year on the right foot.
So without further ado, Borgers, it is time for your questions.
And let's obviously make this as interactive as fun. We will be answering this seriously, but we still have to have, this is an official, unofficial AMA, as I just mentioned. So what are you the most excited about SwissBorg and CHSB in 2022? I'll take that one first. Well, there's obviously a lot of things that I'm excited. I'm first excited by the fact that our mission, which is to democratize wealth management by making fun, fair, and community-centric, is just growing on a daily basis. We saw that we grew from 80,000 users to over 500,000 in the past 2021. 2022, I really see this as the maximum growth opportunity for us, going probably from 500K that we're today to more like 3 million. That will be a great number that we'll be able to achieve with you guys if you help us, obviously, to do so. So that's one thing I'm very excited about SwissBorg. Regarding CHSB, I think so. Where I'm very excited is to see how, with all the beautiful people that are joining SwissBorg and you guys, how we're going to be able to more and more start to bring more utilities with the future products that we'll be building, making sure that the CHSB not only has utilities within SwissBorg, but has utilities in other interdependent ecosystems. So this is really, really what I really would strive for. And obviously making the U 2.0 even better and making more people to coming into it, to lock into community premium, get into the new premiums that we're going to be building. And with that, making sure that it remains at the heart of our ecosystem and we get to the top 50. What about you, Anthony?
Yeah, for my part, we had just the discussion earlier, but the part I'm the most excited about is the new members that have joined the team, especially the product team. I think with growing up this team, we'll have more opportunity as well to release much faster our vision and new innovation. We've been working on many, many innovation that I'm very excited about. And I'm strongly convinced that this innovation will help us to distance ourselves from traditional trading platform and to become the wealth management platform by default in the crypto space. And we have many innovation coming from Heal, Thematics, Launchpad. I'm pretty sure we are going to discuss it today. And that's definitely the part that I'm most excited about, is being in a position to claim we are the wealth management platform for crypto people. And obviously, the external positivities of having more and more features and innovation is to give CHSB more utilities, which will be the case this year. And as a result, growing the base of token holders and loyal people. And I think there is nothing more rewarding for founders to see all these beautiful people coming and with their good mood and be happy to be here. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, so for me, if we can kind of go back to 2021, right? If I can look at what happened last year, as you guys all know, actually, even from 2020, it was such a crazy ride where we were the first app in the world to provide best execution to the masses, right? And then Voyager came in, but we were extremely innovative then. And last year, as you guys know, we're one of the first apps in the world to provide the smart yield, DeFi yield directly through, again, an app where the masses, us, the average people can access. And that was really, really cool. However, we suffered in Q3, Q4, as you guys all know, right? There were some unfortunate, unexpected scenarios, such as our custody provider just pulling the plug on us suddenly, and then having, engineers work full time on changing our custody provider from Curve to Fireblocks, which is now fully migrated, and very happy about that. But, I think all of us kind of felt that Q3, Q4 was difficult for us. We all suffered. We're all very sad about the unfortunate events that happened there. But now it's just all of that is done, and we're back into that innovation mode that Anthony's talking about. And not only that, growing from 35 employees to 225 employees in such a short amount of time is amazing. The hyper growth is so cool, but you need to get people up to speed, and people need to be in the right positions, know their roles, their KPIs in order to deliver. And I really feel like, we lost a little bit of steam in the latter part of 2021, but 2022 is looking super, super bright. Now, when it comes to what am I the most excited about, number one, when it comes to the SwissBorg perspective, the company, the best analogy that I have for you guys is simple. We don't want to be the Christian Dior of crypto apps anymore. We want to be an LVMH. We want SwissBorg to own multiple entities, to dip our toes into multiple businesses, get involved in DeFi, as Cyrus was saying, and we'll give more information about that in the Q1 keynote because we don't want to spoil anything here today, but we're working on many things at the same time. And I love these dynamics because now SwissBorg has this culture where, just like Google, if the engineers want to create a Gmail, they have their own idea, we can fund it and we can support their passion and what they want to do to drive the company forward. And the beauty of having this LVMH model and no longer a Dior model is that all of these models will somehow be connected to the CHSB token. And that is the perfect transition to what do I see as a bright future for CHSB. And as Cyrus is saying, we have a multi-utility token, but now we will have a multi-blockchain token. And that is something that we need to think about. We really want to have the most powerful multi-utility token in the space. And a lot of people who go through big growth and they reach the top 100, they don't really innovate anymore. And I think on top of having the token that can travel into different blockchains, but also reinforcing the current utilities we have, because it's not all about reinventing the wheel. It's also about empowering the current utilities. How can we find hacks to grow the buyback? How can we find hacks to make our protect and burn a real protect and burn, not an emergency and burn? So fueling the fire through different, smart strategies, which we'll talk about in the Q1 keynote. I'm over the moon. I'm super, super optimistic, guys. And as I always say, the future is bright.
The future is bright indeed. And talking about the future, you know what's going to happen during this AMA? You're going to be able to collect very unique NFTs like always. So please tune in. Make sure that you have your engine wallet that is ready to scan and at any time to make sure that you're going to have that super cool one. So please do that. Is SwissBorg planning to offer a debit card, Anthony? Anthony, what is happening with this?
That's a very good question. I think every IMA or every keynote we have this question,
and every nightmare of Anthony's.
No, I think to be fair, it's true that the debit card itself has never been a priority at SwissBorg, and the reason why is because we didn't see that the debit card was a premium feature when you want to become wealth manager. Now, that being said, first of all, you have to know that very soon we will have the capacity. We'll offer the capacity for people to make deposit with debit card, which is quite an evolution, I think. And when it's come to provide to our beautiful community a debit card that they can spend their crypto with the wallet, we have someone now dedicated in the product to payment, all the payment topics, and that's definitely something we look at. I can't guarantee that it will be released this year, or we can't commit on any date, but that's definitely something that we look at because the community is keep asking for it. So
Yeah, I'm very pumped about, the fact that we have this partnership now with checkout.com, which is today one of the biggest payment provider in the world. And yeah, we have a lot of more people are specialized in payments as well, from the product side, but from the tech side as well, and from the fraud side as well, because people don't realize, but with debit cards and credit cards for payments, it's as well, it's it's a new world, so it's a new expertise, and it could be great, and it could be as well bad for fraud. So we're very happy that this enable a lot of people to activate their accounts to get into SwissBorg in an easier way, because some people have downloaded the app but have never made a payment. They're like, oh, but what's an instant SEPA? Is that complicated? Oh no, I thought you were just able to do it with a credit card or a debit card. I don't want to do a banking thing. It's too complicated, right? So this is definitely going to improve a lot. We'll have maybe recurring investments, a lot of different things. So I'm very more excited for at least this first chapter, which is bringing in at least payments, and then how we will then bring in you to spend money through your own SwissBorg debit card. That's will be at the next chapter after, hopefully.
And you guys are very lucky because you got a teaser there. I think we were supposed to keep that for the keynote Q1. But yeah, depositing money through debit cards, I think it's a huge pain point. People sometimes they make mistakes with numbers and they forget to put, specific IBAN, et cetera, et cetera. So having the debit card and making us be, the most competitive in terms of the rates, but also the easiest app to buy and sell crypto. I think the debit card deposit is a huge plus for our community.
Cool. So we can't answer all of these questions because we need to put a lot of juice for the next one. So I'm now Anthony usually like looking like, hey, who wants to get this one? Our new yields planned for the future. I imagine obviously it's a big guess. What are the yields going to look at? Like we'll keep you tuned in. We do want to get into wealth management. We want to continue the efforts to be developing as the only crypto wealth manager in this industry. So for that reasons, there's definitely we need to not just offer just a random yield that comes out of the market, but maybe look at some different ways to offer this. So yes, we will.
If I can just say one thing. And Anthony, I know so many things that you probably want to say about this, but one thing you guys need to understand is I'm quite confident that in terms of yields and passive income, and Cyrus has been sprinkling many hints throughout the powwow, and I think many people don't realize that my brother once in a while shares some information, but I think that is one of the main topics and one of the main areas where SwissBorg will dominate this year, from what I see in the background. And Anthony has been working really hard. I don't know are you confident, Anthony, that we're going to be quite competitive this year in the passive income space?
Yeah, that's a very good question. But yeah, I guess every innovation takes time, especially when it's come to yield, the way we do it, which is through blockchain. And again, it is something extremely valuable for the entire ecosystem because it's not centralized, it is decentralized. And since we released the first version of the Smart Yield, we've been working very hard in providing an experience that is even greater than what we've done in the past. And it's one of the top 3 topics at SwissBorg. There is thematic, there is yield, and there is the launchpad. And definitely yield, we are going to come back strong, very strong. And yeah, there is not much more I can say for now, but that's there is definitely something cooking. Yeah.
SwissBorg today has over 200 employees, and we have noticed ambition for growth in the coming year. What is the envision goal? So first, why are we recruiting more talent? Because we're all impatient. We want to develop better features, more products, more secure and more scalable, and more compliant. Okay, so if you look at those 5 points, you have to be recruiting a lot of people. One of the biggest growth that we will have this year is coming from the engineering department. The reason is for scalability and for developing at a faster speed and be able to ship more products and features, but as well acquiring new skill sets, right? This is something that people should be very aware, is that if you're working on this new technology or this new blockchain, you're going to have to learn a lot of skills, and for that, well, you're going to have to train new people, or you're going to have to recruit new people. And that's definitely somewhere where we're going to have one of the biggest projections in terms of hiring. And I think so. The other flip side is the community success. We strongly believe in the model that we're 100% community centric. And I think so, like you guys would always imagine, is that we really want always to provide the best experience. When someone's downloading the SwissBorg app, or using any SwissBorg products, we want to really provide an experience which is customized, which really looks like you're coming at someone's place and someone's home, and we want to make sure that you're enjoying this 5-star, type of service while being accessible to everyone. And the community success part is something that we really want to emphasize on people that could come into SwissBorg. We could start developing. As you guys know, we have relationship managers that help people to understand what the products and advise them to get a better experience. But we're about to launch as well community success activation team. So these are community advisors that will essentially be able to contact our lovely community members that haven't done much for some time, or just have downloaded the app, did their KYC, but never went through any payments. So the idea here is really, again, to get a little bit that Swiss way of private banking, or vis-a-vis, something like that, where we could essentially help people to be more onboarded, to understand why they should become community premium, to make sure why they should be looking at these different parameters, and yeah, really just ensure that they enjoy the whole full cycle of being in the SwissBorg ecosystem. So this is not going to happen again. We're really unfortunate that we're not going to have any new voting for tokens, because no, I'm joking. So yeah, obviously this is going to happen. I thought this was one of the really coolest initiative we gave, and how it really evolved. If you guys remember, I don't know if Anthony or Alex, you want to talk about it. I thought it was really cool to finally go for US, and yeah, I think so. This is one of the most brilliant thing that people don't realize. Some people say, "Oh, I don't care about being Genesis Premium and having more votation power." So this is probably the most important thing about democracy, is to be able to give your voice to something and to give an influence on a matter, on a product, on a feature that could change people's life. Because you'll be remembered by the choices and the things that you've committed on the planet. And maybe today voting for a token is not big, but don't forget the voting of the SwissBorg app is thanks to you guys. We would have maybe have done a desktop version or something different. So all of these votes for us are extremely important, and I would love to see more and more going forward. I don't know if Alex, you want to add something, or Anthony?
No, I think definitely this is part as well of the DNA of SwissBorg, right? Is if you look at all the other apps, in my opinion, they are very cold. They have a relationship with their user that is very, I provide you a services, and as a customer, you receive the services. And it's never been the ambition with SwissBorg. We always wanted to create this feeling of family, of being part of an adventure. I don't think our ambition is to say, this is our app and we give you these services, but it's that we share everything that we create is for you, the community. At the end, again, it is the promise since the beginning, and that this is really part of our ambition, is to create this connection beside the product itself.
Alex, what's happening there? Is SwissBorg hoping to continue listing microcaps?
I'm a huge fan of the whole hidden gems, program and micro cap tokens. As you guys know, like this is incredible. Like we see the results with Mimo, for example. It's one of the first projects that we really list that's a micro cap. And I think it's a huge acquisition tool, and that is directly linked to the Launchpad in the future as well. Being able to list these promising projects at such a low capitalization is really the most powerful acquisition tool that could possibly be out there. So let's have a look at, for example, Casta and Bybit, right? You know, all these projects that go through these launch pads have a tremendous onboarding, have tremendous trading volume. And for me, it's also giving access to the community with something that usually is only through Uniswap or, you know, some of the DEXs, maybe one centralized exchange that is, you know, maybe not the most trustworthy. So having SwissBorg getting involved in this and working with the projects that we trust, obviously it's higher risk as well. But I think this is definitely something that we want to focus on a lot more and provide the community access to what could be undervalued projects.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think so it's great to say that microcaps is, I mean, or nano caps or whatever you want to call those caps, or at least cryptos that are in a very early stage project that we create. We strongly believe in it, but the risk is extremely high. So anyway, crypto, everything is, as you guys know, it's very risky. But those ones could go 100% up in 2 days and lose 90% in the following days. However, again, we always want to make sure that we are bringing our best partnerships, our best projects that we strongly have stake in, and we believe that will change the future with us. Anthony, did I interrupt you or something?
No, it's okay. I just wanted to say as well, it helps to create some kind of, let's say, partnership. I think with SwissBorg, this is one of our objectives as well, is to be integrated not only with our community, but cross-community. And how can we bring values, and not only by listing this project, but with yields, with a ton of other components in the ecosystem. And it helps as well to create very strong partnership, which at the end, you know, I remember last time I was sharing on our executive channel, someone saying, we have lived until now a society where companies were focusing on having the competitive advantage. And this is what makes you a great company, when you're, you know, above your competition. But in the future, company that will succeed will be company that will be able to create a cooperation model. They will adopt a way for other company or other project ecosystem to collaborate with them. And we see already that with blockchain, right? That's the main principle of the blockchain, is to create a database that can be shared across many apps, that they don't have to develop authentication system, payment system, and they can go much faster and take over the web 2.0. And we need to replicate that. So microcaps are a good way to do it.
And I think KuCoin is a proven project that has been very successful with this, right, Anthony? Like KuCoin has been extremely aggressive in listing projects, and you can see the growth they've gone through in terms of revenue, in terms of trading volume. It's really, KuCoin was a kind of a dying exchange until they went into this new strategy. And obviously we don't want to be too reckless. We don't want to list, you know, hundreds of microcaps. We want to be careful. So a little bit more conservative, but still realize that this is a great acquisition tool, once again, for us to grow the community, grow the protect and burn, grow the trading volume, and satisfy everyone.
How do we see SwissBorg developing gamification? Democratizing wealth management by making it fun, fair, and community-centric, right? That is definitely the Evos. That's a great way to make at least fun and great Twitters, by the way. Like always, really enjoy what you guys are doing on Twitter, and shout out as well to everyone in the community, by the way. Dolphin as well, you're super cool. Yeah, everyone here is awesome. Remy, super excited to have you. Francois, same. Oliver G, Oliver, also Naikoko, everyone, MDX, Danny, Laurent, Ibrahim. Love you guys all. It's really, really cool. Crypto Phil, it's super cool to have you here. and so many other lovely people around here. And thank you so much for the beautiful green hearts. It's really cool to have you among us. I think so. You know, we see. I mean, I think we had this talk with Anthony. I hope you guys enjoyed the powwow, which was a bit of improvisation between Anthony and myself, like most times. Um, we like working, but we work so hard that sometimes it's good to improvise. And the idea of the whole gaming, we've said it. We're more and more connected to pleasure, and people are a little bit bored about working just hard without really enjoying what they're doing, right? So gamification is some process that we always believed in, coming from a generation of the early 80s. We've always been attached to video games, and yeah, SwissBorg with the crypto challenge, with the DO, we already had some good interactions there. I think so everyone has been enjoying it. But it is true that within the SwissBorg app, gamification is not as clear. It hasn't been. We've thought a lot of different models, and yeah, I mean, we're probably going to reveal some of them next month for our lovely keynotes. I don't know if I said anything more from this. Is there something you want to share, Anthony, here, or should we keep it surprise, surprise?
Yeah, I think very briefly as well. I think the reason why people love gamification so much is because this is an invitation to experience something.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at the financial sphere and financial industry so far, is they have been failing in creating gamification. They have, at best create incentivization program. And the reason why is because most of the time, the invitation is just to make money with money. That's the only experience that is designed.
Mm-hmm.
And gamification can only exist if there is more experience that are attached to it. And that's why we are starting to create NFTs. That's why we're trying as well we're trying to invite people to discover their wealth. And we are designing different experiences, partnership, and tools that we use to help people to reconnect with the notion of wealth. So it's not only making money with money, but it's a much more broad concept of trying to discover your wealth. And you're not going to do it by reading a book. You are going to do it by experiencing different environment, different ecosystem. And that's the ultimate mission of SwissBorg, is to gamify this experience that you have the chance to experience all these things to discover better who you are as an investor, as a person, and have a better knowledge about your wealth. And for that, we have NFTs. I think there is one of them, Alex, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of this AMA. But yeah, that's all the tools we are going to use very soon.
And I think, when we talk about gamification, there are three core segments, guys. So it's not just gamifying the wealth app, which is something, of course, we're going to look at. And as Cyrus said, it's important that everything is fun. It shouldn't feel like a pet peeve. It shouldn't feel like it's a task, right? It should be fun. But also there are the gamers in general, and there are the projects, the game developers as well. So we're really going to work with this Triforce, right? It's important to understand that, there's a really good example on Twitter. There's one of our community members, his name is the Gardener69, and he created 2 game characters of Cyrus and myself, which is crazy for Sandbox, right? But that's still just the beginning. As you guys know, we have a great connection, great relationship with the top tier crypto YouTubers. But what about the game influencers, the gaming influencers on YouTube, the gaming influencers? This is a market that really, if you want to get people to cross into our crazy world, right? The wealth app is the ideal scenario, and being able for us to go just above just the crypto influencers, but working with the big gamers, with the gaming companies, but also gamifying the wealth app will be the key. And we'll reveal more as we move forward. But I just wanted to make sure that we really understand multiple perspectives and segments within this particular topic.
And maybe last thing, I did a tweet, I think so 2 days ago, about what would be the favorite SwissBorg play to earn game. We should take this more and more serious. I strongly believe that SwissBorg needs a guild very soon, and we should really figure out what are the right games. Obviously, we have few in mind that we are indirectly or directly involved with, but this is going to be such a massive change in the world. No, we said it again. Play to earn games, Axie Infinity, 10% of the population in the Philippines are playing this game on a daily basis and making an earning out of their lives. Okay, they're making more money in this game probably than they're making in their other salaries that they had in the past. So this play to earn, it looks like today it's fun. We're planting some few things, but these potentially small little fruits and swords that you collect and personas that you collect are going to be how people will be working and having fun while working and doing this. And we're very, 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 very lucky that this is just the beginning. So we're going to see this thing evolving, and I think so it'll be very strategic for SwissBorg, its community, and any person that wants to join to say, okay, let's try to be very big at these different games. And not everyone's going to play, but maybe we'll figure out a way that's, everyone could get incentives and rewards based on this family of lovely people that we are. Okay, live in QA time. Let us know your questions in the live chat. A lot of green hearts, so that's hard to answer. Maybe I'll just do this beautiful heart. Prod Lionel, félicitations pour la question. I want to make an account for my children. Oh yeah, that's kids account. Where is the kids account? Yeah, I get this question all the time. Soon. Have we been? I mean, yeah, soon. Free transfer between CHSB users. That reminds me, someone who talked about this, Anthony and Alex. No, haven't we heard about this already?
Yeah, that's something that is currently under development. So very soon, hopefully, we will offer free transfer between Wealth App user. Yeah, on all
not just CHSB. Yeah, on all tokens.
CHSB.
So.
Wait, this is for the keynote, guys.
Yeah, we're kind of. We shouldn't talk about the future too much.
Oh,
guys, remember,
on.
it's the past and the present.
Alex, come on.
You guys started. It's not my fault.
What's the chance of getting listed on Binance this year? Hey, you know what I always say: work hard, and things will happen. We talked to other exchanges recently and have some good talks. I think so that's mainly Alex. And Binance, I personally had a talk with someone recently. But this one, we can never know.
We can never know. So I think, guys, for us, it's very hard to say because there are three zones, right? There's a zone of no control, there's a zone of influence, and then there's the zone of control. And this is particular in the sphere of influence or no control. So it's very difficult for us to put, a specific date. But I'll just let you guys know that we're talking to all the main exchanges, all of them, literally all the big ones. And we know them very well. And there are politics involved, like some people may see us as competitors, even though we're not, even though we're aggregating from multiple order books. But there are multiple issues, there are silos, people with different KPIs, with different, ideologies. But all we can say on the listing is definitely this year, we're going to work very hard to list on at least one more tier 1 exchange. And I'm very confident that we'll do so, but it's nothing that we can guarantee because we don't own anything there, right? We can only influence these decisions. But I'm quite confident. I'm very confident. And for you to know, if you want to know specifically, the exchanges we would like to get listed on is FTX, obviously Coinbase, obviously Binance, and Chchb. If there are any other exchanges that you guys want us to work on, please let us know. But also understand that we're actively, monitoring, we're actively sustaining relationships, and we're talking. It's just it becomes complicated with exchanges when they kind of see you as a competitor. And you can see that happen to many products, even Celsius, they're not even an exchange, and they had difficulties listing on some of these exchanges. So, but I'm confident, guys. Don't worry. We're going to need your support, though. We're going to, as you guys do always very well on Twitter and always sharing and tagging and retweeting and liking, whenever there's movements, we appreciate all your support.
Awesome. When Federer, that's a very good one. I think so. There's I hang out in Zug time to time, and I know he's at a tennis club that's just next to my place. So hopefully next time I'll run into him and I'll do a grüezi, and hopefully he'll bring in. But without being joking, we are talking to. The sponsoring thing is it's a very interesting new thing to us, and we have to take this in a very SwissBorg way, right? Which is a smart thing that we bring and develop for the long run, right? Just saying we're going to buy this whatever stadium or do this and that, it's not really our breed, right? I don't think so. We like to do fireworks, but not fireworks that just die the day after. It's more like these drones are in a really cool, sustainable way, right? So I think so. That's the same we want to do with the whole influencers that we want to work with. We worked with a lot of influencers last year in the crypto, but it was very different because they had our tokens, all of that. It was not like sponsored, pure. Do a video for me, I'll give you 20 Bitcoin. So yeah, we're trying to see what are the different markets we wanted to tap into, and how these different sportsmen or artists or intellectuals could really play with us, right? And I think so. The best thing to sponsor would be you guys, to be honest. Like if any of you guys are doing any crazy activities or have any influence whatsoever, I know you will probably see this year some cool, like, I'll just do the sign and you may figure it out. We'll have these different things. There's been l'aéroport de Genève, as you guys have noticed. Hopefully we'll have more things in the Swiss German part soon. And then overall in different other countries as well. It'll be great.
If I can just add one thing on that, Luca, that is a really good question. And I would like to ask a question to you guys, the community, like, is Federer the ideal type of sponsor or celebrity that you think would associate with our brand in terms of the values, in terms of who he is, in terms of his principles? I think that's really for you guys to help us as well, think of, because we have agents reaching out to us already. As we talked about earlier, we were crypto influencers in 2021. We'll be working with gaming influencers in 2022. We're going to be working with celebrities, with football players. It could be with a tennis player, with a hockey player, with a F1 Formula One racer. So really, if you guys can give us more feedback, if you think Federer is the ideal association or ideal ambassador for SwissBorg, it's doable. We know one of his agents, we know the rates, etc. It's definitely not impossible. But the more feedback we get from you guys, the better.
For the sake of someone internal, sorry, Anthony, he's a very highly intellectual person. He'll recognize himself. He was like more into, so we talked about this over last weekend, more into like NASA and like CERN and chess. So what's your thoughts on that? I think so. I personally love it. I like intellectual things that bring real change in the world. And so definitely anything that is close to rockets or whatever is usually something I'm very interested in. And anything that is regarding academia is something that I praise a lot. I believe that academia is the game changer of the world. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that one? Please, Anthony.
Yeah, just to close on this topic, I think as well, as you mentioned, is beside sponsorship, like every other company are doing, what we always look for is synergies. So when we worked with the influencer last year, they were taking part in the success of SwissBorg. They were token holders and they truly believe in the success of the ecosystem itself. So we're not paying them. They put an ads on their videos and then they move to the next project. They're getting involved in the project. And I think any celebrities, any people that can help us to carry the message, abroad, if they are serious about crypto, if Federer, for example, tomorrow decide that after being a champion, now I'm going to open up the opportunity for young players to save money and to build their retirement plan, and I'm going to include crypto within this plan, we'll be more than happy to contribute, because this is true synergies. And I think this is how we create value on the long term. So that's why it always takes time as well to make these things happen. Cool. So what do we think about layer 2, like Immutable X? Yeah, that's a good question. I guess all the layer 2 are going to play a major role during the year. We have Starkware, we have Optimism, we have a bunch of them, Arbitrum that are coming, and they are definitely playing a massive role into the adoption of the ecosystem. Now, I think as well, we've lived the time of, I remember when we started the SwissBorg journey, it was all about who is going to disrupt Bitcoin. And that's why you've seen Ripple, Litecoin, Zcash, you had a bunch of them, right? And I think last year and the year before, we've seen who is going to be the competitor, the contender for Ethereum. And all the debate was almost on protocols. And it will continue during this year. But I think as well, during the year, we are going to be more looking at who is going to be the ecosystem that attract actually apps that are used by the user. So protocols, most of the time, they are just here to speculate. We have, of course, developers that are using them to release their app. But at the end of the day, it's like the internet. The technology is irrelevant. The application is the game changer. Is when people start to use crypto, not only to speculate, but because this is part of their everyday life. And I think, for example, Matic is maybe not the best technology, but they are doing a pretty amazing job in trying to be identified as the technology for gaming in the blockchain. And I think that's the winning strategy going forward.
I love the analogy. I think so. It's very true, and I think so. Exactly what's happening on SwissBorg. Like, look, most protocols, even the best ones of DeFi, they have like 1,000 stakers, 200 votes, maybe 10,000 stakers, or in these projects. Today at SwissBorg, we don't have sufficient amount of votes, but last vote we still had 8,000 people voting. How many stakers we have? We have over 100,000 there. So I think so that is going to couplate again, and then the same loyal users, community members that you love VR are just gonna, people are starting to realize that the compounding effect that's gonna bring. The green hearts are just gonna magically just grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. And as the year of decentralization in 2022 is happening, this is just gonna help us to grow. So super excited about that. Next question. Could you explain more about collaboration between Casta, Utrusts, and OCC? Okay, so I will go for maybe the first one, which is Casta. So Casta, as you guys know, it's a project based out of Sweden. The Carl and Carl, two friends of ours, and Carl the Moon, which obviously has been a great contributor to SwissBorg ecosystem. The contribution, there's different things. There's the yield. There's, eventually, if we do spin out a way to provide APIs, maybe it's a thing that we could collaborate with them. Then there's other discussions we have in mind, but they're not yet they're still on the blackboard. So right now, I think so. The idea was to make sure that we would participate, at least Alex and myself, in this IDO, because we believe in Carl. We believe in their project as well. And Utrust. What about that, Alex? I know we've had talks with Utrust multiple times, but you are more involved with that.
Yeah, I mean, the fundamental layer of these collaborations, as Anthony was saying earlier, is the fact that all of these companies have corporate accounts with SwissBorg. So they're trading through SwissBorg, they're contributing to the yield. So there already are users, which is the fundamental part. As you guys know, with Utrust in particular, they're also offering yield to some of the merchants through SwissBorg. And that is basically, that's the kind of the limit at this point with regards to collaboration. There are other things that we've been brainstorming, like Cyrus was saying, the Blackboard has tons of ideas, but from the conceptual phase all the way to executing and launching a particular additional collaboration or opportunity, it takes time. But that's the fundamental basis, is they're all users. And in the Casta case, Carl de Moon has been driving lots of traffic for us. And he's close to 1 million followers. He's one of the biggest, representatives in actual crypto. He's a massive marketer, and it's opening up other opportunities. So these guys introduce other influencers, and it's a massive, a massive opportunity, or a massive line of opportunities for SwissBorg that will benefit the community. So, but at the moment, unfortunately, as of today, and obviously we will always keep you guys updated whenever there's something that's officialized, it's signed, and we're sure that we're going ahead with that specific plan, then we'll communicate with you guys as soon as the new comes in. But that's the fundamental analysis of these partnerships as of today. And then, of course, for Occam ideally, and also with Mimo, I think maybe Anthony can comment, but with Occam, it would be great that we could connect or work out a way for people to stake OCC and then earn tokens, et cetera, and take more advantage of their launchpad, combine it maybe with our future launchpad. These are still, again, they're conceptual. And then with Mimo Capital, I know, Anthony, you have more thoughts on how we can develop even more than just a listing or having them use our accounts.
Yeah, for sure. With Mimo, as you probably know, guys, the main application is designed to have a stablecoin in euro. And we haven't seen until now very great solution when it's come to euro stablecoin. Since we are a euro-based application, I'm very proud to be one of the crypto representative in Europe. There is not many. So we must be proud of that. I think
it's decentralized euro, right? And it's decentralized, pure DeFi, right?
Yeah. As a decentralized stablecoin, there is no many that are strong right now, and there is a huge competition, I think, coming. And it's very important for us to be in the position to offer to our user a mean for them to get exposure to euros, decentralized euro stablecoin. And so with Mimo, we started by listing their governance token because we believe in the project and it was good to offer this opportunity to our user, but it's just the beginning. We are going to release more product altogether.
Not only, I think so, the best way to support SwissBorg is by sharing its values and sharing it with the loved ones you like Javier, like all your family members, people. Recently I went for my 3rd shot, and well, technically it's my 2nd shot because I had COVID contracted in March. But anyways, it was weird because it was very well done in Switzerland, but you had to essentially pass on to these different people and just show each time your COVID pass. It was a bit weird. So I did that 8 times. So each time I was doing that, I was saying, do you know this app? Do you like Bitcoin? Buy Bitcoin. Buy SwissBorg token because it's really cool. And I think so that's a great way, is to pass on the knowledge to people, to just say like, hey man, if you don't believe in crypto, your kids are going to thank you in 10 years from now for it. And there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, the SwissBorg token. You should put even some, just doesn't matter, $100 in it, $200 in it, $300 in it, euros, sorry. Put whatever you want and start getting to people to invest, and then let them get into the rabbit hole to understand what are we doing, what is the impact we're having on the world. And you'll see it next month, but we were developing a lot of great decentralized solutions that are going to have massive impact on multiple different levels. And I think so that's something that is really great. And as we say, the heart of ecosystem is based on very good principles. And I think so that's something that are very honorable and people should enjoy. Get CHSB as a stable coin. It's a stable coin when markets are tanking. Okay, that's a good thing. So people should go in instead of UST, they should go into CHSB whenever the market is tanking. That would be a good stable coin story. Other questions? Do you have more time? Yeah, I have 10 minutes to go.
But in talking about the actual market size, so if I can add something, like a lot of the people, as Cyrus was showing the powwow recently, based on-chain data, based on the wealth app data, people have been hodling SwissBorg for a very long time, right? And roughly between 70 to 74% of people are actually in positive gains, right? Now, I just want to share with all of you guys what happens from here if we go for a prolonged bear market, if we go sideways, or if we go up, right? One thing that historically we do know when it comes to tokens, and we can see it from the dip last year, right? As you guys know, Bitcoin went down to 29K last year. There was a big drop. And what happened in that so-called summer, right? In the month of June and July and August and September, that is probably going to repeat itself in terms of cycles, is all of the products that have a yield, all of the tokens that have a yield are the ones that are the most seeked. And again, you guys can go and look at the charts. It's quite self-explanatory. But Celsius and Nexo and all these projects, they experience incredible growth when it comes to users, because people, let's say we go through a flat market until this summer, okay? I'm not making any predictions, but let's say we go through a head and shoulders, Bitcoin goes down to 35K, which, by the way, may be a good chance for winter shopping or New Year shopping. But if we go through this cycle, people still want to make money. And if they still want to make money, what is the ultimate way to do so? It's by earning yield. And for those reasons, we've seen in the past, the yielding tokens have outperformed the other tokens, right? And the exchange tokens that have real utilities also outperformed other tokens. So for those who are a little bit new to this, cycles are cycles. Cyrus has a great expression about seasons as well. And we're talking about winter transitioning to summer. But I do think that we're really well positioned, guys. Whether the market goes down, whether we're flat, for a few months before the next spring, I'm very optimistic. On top of that, with all the future utilities that are coming to the CHSB, which we will, of course, share more info during the Q1 keynote.
There was a question pour les francophones. J'espère déjà que vous kiffez l'app en français et que ça se passe bien pour vous. Et sinon, qu'est-ce qu'il en est d'autre? On va certainement... Non, je ne peux même pas partager, je suis désolé. When is the German version of the app website available? Achtung, Achtung, I don't know when. I do that. It's going to happen. And I literally don't know when, but it is in the plan. And that's the reason why we haven't done, like, a lot of people like, oh, why didn't do any advertisements or billboards or marketing campaign in Zurich or in other Swiss German canton. And the reason is that we want to really make sure that the experience is well done. So when the people will onboard the Swiss German part, they will have it in German, or at least the option to have it in German. So yeah, working on it hard, and strongly believe that this is going to be a massive game changer for us. People don't realize that we are very big in the UK, France, and sorry, Switzerland, but it's mainly in the Swiss Romandie. The Swiss German part is not yet as big as it should be. So we will grow there, and we will make sure that yeah, everything is done in a proper way.
This is a great question, Christiana, and a lot of people are asking this question. Who would like to take this? Anthony, Cyrus, with regards to the NFT for Genesis Premium? And obviously, we talked about the end of the Genesis Premium. We're talking about a new intermediate premium. Does anyone want to take that question?
There is definitely something.
But we can't talk about it.
Yeah, but I think, again, you will have to come back for the keynote because all these things has been decided. We have a solid plan, and you're not going to be disappointed.
I think I'm extremely impatient person. I have a lot of drawbacks, by the way. A lot of people think I'm super nice at everything. I hope I am nice, but and I have a really good heart, that's for sure. But I'm extremely patient, probably more than many of you. However, what I learned, I think so in life, and especially working at SwissBorg, is that as we grow, things become more and more delicate because we're just have an exponential more powers and exponential more responsibilities with those powers. And we might, some people might be a bit frustrated like myself, and other people like things are not going as fast as we would like to. But it's just that now with the size and the power we have, if we go into a direction and say, okay, we're going to do these NFTs on, let's say on a new blockchain,
Sure.
whatever it is, um, this will put so much work into the whole system if we're doing this on ERC 721, or if we're going to do this on Binance Smart Chain, or if we're going to do this on Polygon, right? Every of these small decisions are going to have a massive repercussion, and more importantly, we always said that NFTs right now, as you're going to be collecting them, is a great way to witness that you have been evolved and you've been participative, active into the community, right? So we strongly believe in this meritocracy, and for that is how these NFTs could be a fun reward and a certificate of what you've done. But then how can you build these NFTs to make them even more meaningful and have more utilities than just that certificate or that beauty, which is which all our lovely designers always are doing.
And if I can add something, guys, for the Genesis Premium, one thing, if we really look back at to when we introduced the Genesis Premium, there was no yield, right? The reason why people would lock into the Genesis Premium is because they wanted to be a part of the community, they wanted to be a member, and they wanted to get zero commission on Bitcoin stables, CHSB, et cetera, which, by the way, in itself is a very powerful feature. And a lot of people have been doing really well with that. And they actually, some of them who got into the Genesis Premium, they didn't buy it just on the value that it provides today. They bought it thinking that I'm sure with the developments of the future, there will be some benefits that will make this worth my while. And that's the mindset that people had in the very early days, right? And then obviously when the smart yield, was introduced and we said we're going to give, one of the first companies to offer DeFi yields through the app, then more and more people got into Genesis Premium, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as of today, if I just want you guys to know this, right? It's when you're thinking about whether to go to Premium Plus or Genesis Premium, doesn't matter which premium it is, do not just consider the value that you're getting as today, because we're working very hard to add new features, like very, very hard. And we're constantly thinking on how to innovate, how to make the CHSB token have more utility, provide you with more value. So that's one thing I do want to stress, right? Because, I know for a fact that what's going to happen is some people, they're going to decide not to become premium, then it disappears. And then eventually further down the line, they'll think, oh man, I should have thought more long-term and not just as of today. That's just one thing I want to share. And then in terms of the NFT, yes, there will be an NFT, and we'll provide more information about that in further down the line. But just want to provide a little bit of perspective there.
Fair, fun, and community-centric. That's what we think about every day, whatever we're doing. If it's not fun, it's not fair, it's not community-centric, we're not doing it. So we always will meritocratically build this ecosystem together. Derek Johnson, can we visit for a SwissBorg party? It's just a party. So next month, depending where we're going to be doing this, it's going to be in Switzerland. So it's going to be Lausanne, Geneva, I would say one of those two. It really depends. It really depends because it's all about obviously Corona right now, and we really ensure that you guys should be safe. Around myself, everyone got Corona again. So yeah, hopefully we'll make it happen. If not, we'll meet into the metaverse, maybe into one of these games and have a live there, or just have another live on YouTube. And maybe just for a question, if you like this format, we're thinking maybe doing this on Twitch one of these days. I don't know what's your thoughts on Twitch. I know it's usually for younger people. It's more 18, 30, where YouTube is more 18, 80 years old. There's no real thing. So that's just maybe a question to see for the future. I think so. We're almost running up to time. We are running up to time. And we will not take this last question, unfortunately. But Anthony, maybe I'll have a question for you. No, I'll have a question for the community. First, I hope you guys, did you enjoy this new format, which is the real AMA, right? Where it's only question, there's no presentation. Do you like this better in this way, in that we have then a presentation that happens with a real keynote? Yes, Abardin, thank you for that. Cool. Yes, thank you, Leon. Max La Ramas. That's cool. I never heard about that one. Max La Ramas is cool. Your Twitch is good. Yeah, so maybe we'll do another AMA, hopefully, and that will be on Twitch to see how things could go. D'ailleurs, peut-être qu'on pourrait faire le Twitch en français, ça serait une bonne idée, ça, non? Peut-être qu'on va faire un AMA en français. Peut-être que la prochaine, on fera un AMA en français, mais sur Twitch cette fois. And yeah, the idea is, as always, these AMAs, it's really done for you guys. We not only want to answer your questions, but we want to be connected to you guys to really feel the essence. Today we're almost 1,000 people connected. It's really great numbers. Obviously, we had bigger numbers when things were more crazy in March, but that's normal. The good thing is that you guys are here today, and people are as well listening to this. Maybe in the next coming days are listening to this, and this is very important because it's very easy to come with your bathing suits and go to the sea and enjoy that spring summertime, and you're all like, I love crypto and I love SwissBorg. It's these moments when it's cold, when Corona is hitting everyone, where there's economic turmoil happening, where it's the biggest inflation of the stage of the planet, when the planet itself is not going well, where you have crazy politics in France. These are the moments where you're like, no, I stick to my mindset. I stick to my mission. I stick to my vision, and I know that we will work this out. And we will make this happen, despite the price going from 150 to 60 cents today. Because these are the true warriors, and you will be reminded tomorrow when you will be scanning this NFT that you are part of this, and you're confident in the future. Because at the end, Alex and Anthony, is the future, what is it? The future is
Right.
Okay, guys. Got time to scan. Okay, I shoot, I have to scan this quick.
Scan, everybody. Oh, come on, guys. Scan and get your NFT.
Scan.
And just to accompany what Cyrus was saying, like for all those who joined us, in, let's say, March or April and went Genesis, if you happen to have purchased CHSB token and gone Genesis Premium when we're at the peak of the bull market, so let's say $1.60, please understand that we're doing our best, and up until now we've been very successful at doing so, is to make sure that you will eventually get back all your investment, and all of the features will hopefully have been given for free. So we're working very hard, guys, and like we said, Q3, Q4 last year were definitely slowed down. But now the way things are looking, the team, everyone's ready. Everything has changed in terms of custody. I am very, very optimistic. I'm always optimistic, but even more now, and look forward to meeting everyone in London, hopefully in Lausanne as well sometime this year. Maybe even in France, right? Paris.
To just back up on what you just said, just to add on what you just said, Alex, I think, beside promise, track record as well can speak for itself. And I guess we've been in the past in the situation where we sell the token at the ICO and then the price dropped. And we never give up on the mission to give back the value to the people that support us. And we give everything that we had. The team, just doing phases again, never sold a token, never sold a single token, the main team. And we were fighting very hard every day to make value back for our user, the people that trust in us, because there is this exchange, right? Where you receive trust when someone trusts you. You don't want to break this promise. And I think, again, how you promise, maybe it's not, we can't guarantee the time, but we work every day that we can provide more and more value. We can extend the community, that you guys will make back the money you've invested a year ago.
Beautifully said.
Beautifully said, and that's true. Track record. We won't stop until we reach that top. Thank you very much. Lovely again.
One
to
thing,
really
Sai, one last
connect
thing,
with
Sai.
the eye- Oh, go for it, Alex. Sorry,
So
go for it.
one thing. So for those in Switzerland, there's CFC Moritz, right? We're also going to be at Crypto Compare in London. So there are multiple events where SwissBorg will be sponsoring. We'll have our booths, etc. But CFC Moritz in Switzerland, Crypto Compare in London. Coin Bureau is also probably going to have an event in May in London as well. So there are multiple conferences. And also we're going to take part in the Paris Week Blockchain Summit, PWBS. So if you guys are in Paris, if you're in London, if you're in Switzerland, let's gather up, let's meet at the booth, let's give each other a big hug in this cold winter and make sure that we get out of this even happier than we were last year.
As always, guys, be happy, be wealthy, and love our CHSB. Take care, guys. Bye.